Everybody out there, I've been doing a lot of stuff, spiritual stuff in the spirit realm lately. So if you haven't seen me on YouTube in quite a minute, it's because, I've been getting really busy. Anyways, this is some fucking demonic ass shit that I'm fucking facing. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it in a blog post tomorrow, where basically I'm pretty much the victim in an epicenter of very, very evil fucking cruel fucking spirits and people who are seeking to sacrifice me. No fucking joke. That whole shit with the Occalas and with Nicholas Bearden, all of that shit was actually an extension of MK Ultra. And I'm gonna talk about that in a video tomorrow and break it down. I kept getting fucked with by spirits deliberately like a motherfucker. Pretty much from a distance, from what I'm gathering, from what I learned in the spirit world and all that largely. Because this isn't something that I could get, in the physical. This is something that I can get through channels in the spirit world. They were looking to make an elongated slave, kind of like a science experiment, somebody that they can control long distance. And I'm going to do a video tomorrow pretty much breaking it down. Their tactics are very much CIA. If they weren't CIA, as a matter of fact, today, when I was perusing stuff in the astral plane, I saw that Nini Ocala, a big old bitch who looked like this. But that's not her, that she's also affiliated with Google. I don't know if it's in the physical. I'm getting physical. I got air dryer. They have an entity attachment. It's very, very easy to get. Frequency is your friend. Again, I'm going to do a blog post talking about it all tomorrow. Anyways, with that being said, it's an entity attachment that's designed to erase your memories and wipe your memories and your consciousness clean. Again, I'm going to talk more in depth about it tomorrow in tomorrow's video. With that, excuse me, with that being said, as a matter of fact, when I looked up what she does, I got air dryer. That's the reason why I brought her up. They have an entity called Fatal Leader, and I'll give you the phone number and everything. That's associated with that entity that does that. It's usually created from a poor soul that they put in a horrible realm. And I was able to see today where they had my parents, man, and the whole fucking shit. I'm gonna say this right now. David Rain, aka what's his name, Ocala, Ethan Applewhite or Ethan Ocala, he has a daughter named Candace. Candace Ocala. She a little skinny, ugly motherfucker. She looked like this. That's his heart, his money, as a matter of fact. He's into child porn, child snuff, from what I understand. Fuck his ass up. All three of them are into that. Your boy, Nicholas Ocala, was Ethan Ocala, is Laserpointer. That's CIA parlance for somebody who finds a target, an enemy of the state, and go after them. When I was looking up things in the astral plane the other day, I saw that I got categorized as an enemy of the state. And I'm not sure if it's Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet. And I'm going to go into more depth about them. But all right, let me go ahead and preface this by saying that the people who I just named, you know how they talk about people in Hollywood. Highly, highly weird. I could never deal with that industry. I'm going to be honest with you. Knowing what I know, I could never fuck with it. I could never roll with it. I could never rock with it. It's just something always rubbed me the wrong way about them fucking people. Something very, very evil. Not all of them, but a lot of them. You know, like when you get with the high up. Oh, another thing I wanted to add too is I noticed that throughout this entire thing, I know it's going to sound crazy. The Illuminati kept showing up, looking, from what I understand, the energy vampire off of my spiritual abilities as well. I'm not going to go into detail about what I know about the spirit plane, but it runs deep. It's on that level. So when you rock on a certain level, they start coming to you. You know, some of them roach attachments kept talking about Queen Elizabeth's around. And what's that broad's name who married Prince Charles after Diana died? Her. They kept saying that they were coming around to reincarnate. And that's because in the astral plane, if you see me, I'm near dead. I'm down to barely my soul consciousness. And they've been keeping me that way, which I'm going to describe in the video tomorrow. Ever, ever since, you know, I mean, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm in shape, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. And I've been having whooping cough in my solar plexus chakra all this week. But anyways, they've been looking to reincarnate. And reincarnate in the astral plane for them means taking your spiritual abilities, stealing your consciousness and all of that. I mean, this shit runs deep. But anyways, the reason why I name those people is because from what I'm hearing in the spirit world, these people made the mistake of setting me up as a sacrifice. See, the Occalas were looking to set me up as some type of long distance slave. They were trying to do that with my family, set us up. From what I understand, Ethan Ocala has a weird preoccupation with turning men into women. He kept turning my poor dad into what they call holiday heart, you know, wearing makeup and shit, trying to fucking dehumanize as well as overly homosexualize him and all that fucking bullshit. They have an obsession with trying to make me into a prostitute, and that shit's getting shut down in the astral plane. Like, I'm not playing that shit. They're trying to set up the whatchamacallit, the rhythm for my life. Like, from what I'm understanding here in the astral plane, they're trying to set me up to be the Antichrist, which is funny. The Antichrist of the PCH, where they intend on having me just woke people randomly for them. And they get the sacrifice as well as the blessing. I'm like, bitch, I'm nobody's slave. I'm too powerful to be anybody's slave. I'll just tell you what I am. You would be. I know I sound schizophrenic, but be like, wouldn't fuck with her. Anyways, to make a long story short, from what I'm gathering, I believe that the Occalas are some type of handlers for Timothy Chalamet. They kept calling him Chalmation or Charlemagne. I kept hearing that in the astral plane, his code name. And Zendaya. I kept hearing her name all throughout this curse. And through a very powerful spirit guide as well as through somebody else, I found a lot of my blessings with her as well as with him. Like, one of my timelines was to get married to a billionaire. Not that I'm very materialistic. And that got stolen. And these people are trying to write through these high-level CIA tactics the narrative for my life, for me to be poor for the rest of my life, for me not to have anything. I kept hearing that refrain over and over again. They do something where they connect their soul consciousness to your subconsciousness. Like I said, you have to remove the core to their subconsciousness to defeat them. I'll go more in depth about it tomorrow. With that being said, I saw through my third eye early tonight that Zendaya sacrificed that boy Angus Cloud. Just like she sacrificed me. I know I'm not known now, but I was very famous on the PCH for walking around topless and starting that. And even back then, you know, now that I look back on it, I mean, this shit runs deep, you know. Now that I look back on it, I remember when I first started back in Miracle Mile, they had motherfuckers trying to connect with me and contact me, woo, 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 politicians and all of that, and I just started shutting them down. I'm like, I don't like this energy. I just don't like the way it is. It's rubbing me the wrong way. I'm not gonna get the full credit. They're just gonna eat off of me, eat off of my legacy, give it to some white bitch. And that was the energy I picked up on. And they did. You know, they almost tried, and I shut that shit clear down. I don't play around. Anyways, I heard in the astral plane, like I kept hearing the story of Rosie. And so I remember one day, you know, I was, what they call it, I was fighting, these motherfuckers were getting ready to sacrifice me using one of their entity attachments. They connect to your entity attachments to try to sacrifice you, like they're trying to do with me tonight. From what I understand, they plan on taking my whole consciousness. So to make a long story short, they were planning on sacrificing me that night. You know, their whole game plan is to have me stuck in fucking mental institutions for the rest of my life, have me walking down the street raving mad, being harassed by the entity attachments. But through all sorts of things, frequency. Look, I used to talk about Cracker Christ in the past. You ain't gonna hear me say that anymore. Jesus Christ in the astral plane is fucking awesome. I love Jesus. And there's a few others, I don't know if I can name them, you know, who are really, really, really good, you know, for helping, you know, including some of the rules. But anyways, to make a long story short, from what I understand in the astral plane, look, that night when I was about to get sacrificed, I kept hearing about, okay, remember I was telling you the story about me dying on August 22nd, 2022, and me being taken out of my body. All right. From what I understand, right before that happened, back when I was famous on the P stage walking around with my tits out, Zendaya saw these people in a dream and then decided to go and visit these people in real life, in the physical plane. From what I understand, they're very well known for doing black magic and hella weird. That demonic ass place. Illuminati Central, demonic. Just demonic. With that being said, she went to these people, the Occalas in the physical, with their CIA tactics and all, and signed a soul contract or some shit like that, sacrificing me and my parents. You know, recently, like I was saying on camera and crying as well, my dad was trapped in the hell realm. My mom was too. And today I saw that my dad's whole soul was sticking out of his fucking body. My parents don't deserve that. If you gotta come after somebody, you come after me. You don't go after them. You fuck with my parents, I take your ass out. Like I said, he has a daughter named Candace. Here's Zendaya's. Zebra head ass bitch. Anyways, to make a long story short, they say, who you want to sacrifice? And she said, oh, you know, that weird chick walk around with her titties out on the PCH. Go sacrifice her. And that's exactly what happened. Now, the reason why I brought up that night when I was about to be sacrificed by one of the entity attachments, Alex Bouvier, some shit like that, is because I got the revelation as Zendaya was involved. Again, I kept hearing all throughout this curse, Zendaya's name is Rock. And I just couldn't see it. I'm not one of these schizophrenics who's like, oh, you say that? I believe it. No. Even if I see it with my third eye, I gotta check that shit. I gotta, you know, go and check it with all sorts of fucking sources and every fucking thing else. I don't just take shit verbatim. Anyways, with that being said, I forgot what I said. I say something. And this happened twice. I said something. I said, you know what? I think that Rosie is Zendaya. Something like that. Next thing I know, the entity, which sounds a lot like what could be your higher self, says, "Well, I've been found out." And I kept hearing from various spirits that if I was to talk about ass, they kept saying, "Oh, if you make that movie Astral and some shit like that, I got to get back to writing on it." About your experiences with all of this. Because I've actually been in the astral plane as a result of this. Direct. She'll be the person in the movie, but if you talk about her, you have bad luck for the rest of your life. I saw in the astral plane she had taken my angelic protection, every fucking thing. I hate these people with a fucking passion because they took every fucking thing from me for no fucking reason except jealousy. I keep hearing the reframe, "We don't want you to have shit." And just pure evil. I want them taken out. Now, I'm going to say this before I end the clip. What's very, very intriguing about Zendaya is that her and Timothy Chalamet in the astral plane the other day, I heard a couple of spirits, and I kind of saw it myself a little bit, that their consciousness was posted on the cornerstone of a government building. When I spoke with one of my spiritual help and spirit guides about it, I was told that social engineering was listed there, along with total recall, entity attachment recall, and something else, sensory recall. But they say that they changed it for me, but I ain't got my shit. I don't fuck with none of that MK Ultra. They tried it to make me MK Ultra. They usually go after very, very spiritually powerful people who are enemies of the state and try to shut us down. That's why you got a lot of your gang stalking. And I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm going to do it in my blog tomorrow, but it goes all the way up to the top, to the motherfucker that they worship. It's sort of who you think it is, but it also isn't. I believe it's the motherfucker of duality. But I'm not going to go into too much detail. That's why you want to get under the light. You want to get under the God of the light. Anyways, to all of you out there, take care. Have a good night. I actually tried pulling him out. He was a sacrifice. Very real dude, it seemed like. Hood. And I can respect him as white dudes like that. With that being said, I saw him and a few of his ancestors in like one of them logo carts I see. And the place where he was at was black and gray, which denotes a hell realm. But not like the worst. Worst is like red. And him and his family, just like she sacrificed me and my family, were condemned to a realm where they were being picked on by roaches. No joke. And I tried to pull him out early in the night. 1185 hertz is your friend. That, and there's another one you could play. I'm trying to think. There's something trying to make me forget it. 125 hertz. Or 156 hertz. Those are very, very good for getting people out of hell realms. 125 I know does it. With that being said, Zendaya is a real evil bitch in the astral plane. I first heard that her higher self was demonic. And I believe that she's under Barbara Rayner, aka, what's her name? Something Ocala. Yeah. Nene Ocala's heat cake. Like I say, a lot of this shit just seems like CIA type shit. I'm just going to say it like this. I shouldn't be here. If it wasn't for these evil ass people, if my roads were clear, I shouldn't be here. But like I say, this shit goes deep. And I'm going to go into greater detail about it tomorrow. One of the entities that got me here is Beer and fucking Samity. That's an evil motherfucker. Stay tuned. Another thing I want to mention too is if you look into her spiritually, Zendaya's got sacrifice angels around her. Those are the women that look like this in all red.